It's to keep us safe and also keep our schools safe. But the one thing we don't want to do as a board, when they talk about the one thing we don't want to do as a board is act like we know the facts of the situation and speak on it when we don't actually know. In case of lawsuits that we won't be sued based on the things that we said. And also, they talk about how when we come together to talk about different issues, about that three-person rule, once we exclude board members, it can go in maybe meeting. It just, the ones I come into the investigation and the research and the legality of the law part of it. But it brought back to my awareness how we have to make sure that we're safe and everything that we say and do. And we have to do it with a spirit of excellence. And also, we have to do it with giving everybody basically the benefit of the doubt. That if we don't know it, we don't say it. And so that's basically the ones that I want to do beyond I know this part was talking about.
Okay, we're going to end this part. I do want to across time. You basically see look at the workshop. Everyone, I'm happy to see all of you here. Teachers and parents that are here, I'm glad to start our first one off with as much information as possible. We're headed to the operational update. What I'm so have executive staff meetings, we had operations retreat for all of us got together and talked about this year. We had new staff orientation to participate United, I think that all comes from this Addison. Section 2, I'm in the report. Section 5, we all have United and hospital and grandparent being raised, so the grandparent gets line and that part. So, 15 International Dog Day. Everybody's trying to support God. God, everybody wants to do it. Come on, house and the land about how to do it. And then in the middle school, we have something going on. On the 26th, we all have a Friday teacher orientation, production responsibility. Of course, the holiday, which is Labor Day on the first, before we are part of the second, the national, and the third, we'll have math, curriculum led by our math coach, small spirit, middle our math. Such a third will have leadership TV, and such a fifth will have the grandparents' favorite. In the high school, lots going on there, all day, which is good. I think that probably they knew about our first chance to really do the gym. Then we'll have a staff meeting on the 26th. The top one meeting will be this Thursday. Have another ball game on the 28th. Full football game on Friday night. It's on the ground. So we'll talk about that. And put on the roots and come out and share that time with us. And then the same thing, groups for grandparents will be September 5th, 8:30. We'll have another one from 8 to 10. So the current state of what's going on in the schools. So you look ahead at the top. The current is something else. We have a 5 classes, some children who are struggling, who need some additional work. It has 3 people in it, has 2 right now, we're looking for the 3rd person. It has a teacher and a paraprofessional that are doing a magnificent job, like a new school logo. If you look at their website, on Friday, all our shirts. So they're really good there. It's Addison. And they have mindfulness moments. We kind of had an opportunity to look at this Jayla Nelson. The mindful moments. She put out the video. It's really, really effective for the students and teachers. So let's look at the middle school at their state of mind. We have advanced classes there, geometry and English, varsity tutors, one-on-one tutoring, how to math coach, coding class for high school credits. We have they also have the high school. It's just to tell you a little bit. It's a lot going on there. We have geometry for 9th grade. Early college academy USC softball students started last week. Doing enrollment for Boarding University, as well as doing architecture. Put that there. Esports and STEM lab. Well, this year we have machine technology, CDL. You've seen that video with us about CDL, business and personal finance, CNA, cosmetology. I heard from the dentist today, like I have 6 students for dental hygienists this year. We had 2 last year. We're looking for 6 students that you'd like to take in free of charge to become dental hygienists. So students, it's 6. And then we have the Aspire Academy. That is not, this is the old beginnings. You don't have the beginnings is over. We have a Aspire Academy, which allows the children flexible hours. And I'm here recognized by telling them they can go from 9 to 12, they can go from 9 to 3, they can go from 12 to 3, from 4, and then they can go from 4 to 7. So there are flexible hours for children to be able to come to school. Most of these children are the children who are needing to get back on track, to graduate, but we do have a few who have elected to get back in our It is working really well. Really, really exciting. We have 3 teachers there, with certified teachers, and 3 parents. And as soon as they move to the Fairfax location, we will also have a school resource officer and our wonderful food nutrition staff provide being installed in the operations. So we have 22 children. So safety and security, with Mr. Fields, we have our reunification site, which teachers that have been shared with our designated responders, so we're ready to go in case anything happens there. We have navigated through 16 that we use to track all of our drills. Administrators have submitted their drill schedule, and all schools complete the first fire drill in the first 10 days as required by law. We have weapon detectors in daily use at every school, and the parking lot procedures are being enforced because we have a center vendor in the parking lot. And one thing we left off our child is Dollar Pouch, and in grades 6 to 12, we have a few at elementary school. I'm not sure what we have, but there's the areas So in terms of maintenance and custodial staff, we have Elizabeth State, we have a new air conditioning ticket group, and I'm grateful for our press box that already occurred because the floor was holding in, and now they're working on the restrooms and the concession stand. So because everybody is in the space when we work with the school. Continued collaboration with the HVAC board. We have a lot of problems here. So in Fairfax, and we are planning for the states of upgrading the electricity at middle and high school because the electrical wire is old and we need to work on it. So lots of renovations happening. Food nutrition, moving right along, we have to look at their website. Always be sure to see their menu, it's always out there looking good. And they have new managerial staff. They have lots of staff certifications, which you will hear about in a little while. They have South Florida Department of Agriculture visit, and they're great Facebook pages. So communications, we have a big blood drive plan thanks to the Sanders, which was created by him. So we'll be doing a blood drive. There's so many people blood. District spotlight videos that she does all the time with CPL and the football team. After school football advertisement that she has done. Our Billboard project, I don't know whether it's driven by the possibilities to be able to come back sign here. We have that sign up, the billboard, and we'll have one on 95, and we'll also open one in Hampton. Okay? Flyer videos updated for our athletic policies, and then our board meeting tonight will move to social education. Power School, so this is always an update. I want to tell you about this Vanessa Patch. When I tell you she is being a truancy officer, she is. She's making those phone visits, she's driving all around. She's out of those homes, and she has a door handle. She has a door handle. She can hold your door, your child will come to school. And that door handle says, out there trying to trick some officers here to visit you, you can call. All right? And it's working because they don't want that door handle. So parents are usually sent them to school. We have 3 power school officers, and they're doing a magnificent job. So our current enrollment all school gates. As of when this was presented on last week, we have 788, 399 in the elementary budget in the high school. 179. So 788. Hopefully we'll get up to 800 before this year's over, but that's what we are currently. sport. And then the middle school, we have another as well. New program we have. Yes, sir. And that, so, because we had the infrastructure down, we had pool wires, we had a lot going on, okay? And we had no structure and everything going on. Well, we had education, which we're getting there. We're getting that part. But the technology team has done a good job. They worked hard to make sure that we had no distractions. We had many distractions, but we're still hanging in there. So I will read all of this. We have wireless access control in the building, so we can have smart cards, which is much better. We have a footprint now that tells us where our wiring goes. We have state-of-the-art network. When it gets pulled all the way over to the elementaries, all the way over to the district office, then it can say it's not all done. So we have brand new technology. We come in the building to permitting boards in every classroom, and the children have all the devices. They have not all been dispersed yet, disseminated, distributed yet, but they will be delivered. We have updated security. I heard you talk about security, so we have updated cybersecurity insurance, so that we can make sure that we're monitoring and detecting those things around our web as well. In the book. We have new includes detection monitoring with a firewall and a uniform protection. So now starting on next, this is the first time, so I'm going to stand right here. Wow.
Thank you, ma'am. In the other side, see the Chair Russell, and members of the board, and just talk a little bit about Alabama's impact on the American department. Because we feel every message has an impact. So some of the things that we are doing, first of all, we have monthly newsletter that's going out to Sam. That's talking about that impact. Our main officer currently is our teacher clarity position. So all across the district, we're implementing teacher clarity, which is there to make sure there's consistency in our vision and that students understand what they learn. So there's 3 questions that we'll ask them that usually get asked in the parents every day. Is to tell them what they learn, why they learn it, and how they know what they learn. So there's a process that we will do with teachers to teach them how to make sure students understand that, and that's a big implementation that we're doing nationwide. Walkthroughs, we have coaches and district staff doing walkthroughs, admin are required to do, and coaches attend the week. Our big engagement initiative is the Teach Like Champion, focus on making sure that students are engaged and learn. And the learning process when they're in class, and we're teaching teachers different strategies to make sure that the students are engaged. We have quite a few staff new teachers, so we want to make sure that we provide support from our curriculum department as well as HR. So we usually take with new teachers, we make sure they have everything they need from our curriculum department. Professional development, data, team, and collaborative planning is done weekly, and in our TSS process, we revamp that to make sure that all students get what they need as far as interactions. What's coming soon, we're taking applications for high voltage tutoring. So that will start September 8th for face-to-face and September 5th for virtual. So we have our students have our opportunity to get high voltage tutoring and students have our opportunity to get high voltage tutoring in the morning, evening, and in the afternoon. We're paying teachers $50 an hour if they'd like to be a part of that face-to-face high voltage tutoring. Our virtual tutoring is through varsity. Coaching cycle is teaching that we see that We're already providing that support so they don't get behind and feel like they're overwhelmed, so we're already starting identifying those teachers that need support. We also have bi-weekly coaching support for our academic for our instructional coaches. So they also get support so they can know what kind of support to provide for our teachers. We have an initiative to complete that, so they can really learn how to complete that will be available. We're doing a daily mentoring program, and then each school sets out what professional development they would like to see, and we'll provide that as well. On the next page, for our assessment and data, we just did our beginning, our POI, that these are the scores so far as the number of completed percentages. So that we do that 98% completed. Middle school is 98 and 94% completed. Our high school, which is smart to complete because they have ninth graders that take our money, are at 68 and 61%. But our goal is to have 100% completed so that they'll be identified with students we support in that ELA. Some of the new systems that tools that we have in place, we have what's called a teacher hub and a principal hub. So any instruction needs that the teacher have, if it was one job, the teacher's hub, and they should be able to find it there. Also, the principals will do the same as principal items that instructor needs. We also have that there for them. Our only two software that we have is Atlas. That's what they turn the lesson plans in. So we can provide support for our Atlas program and Julia. That's where our students that aspire and students that are behind can get on take online classes so they can individually previously they did themselves. And then at our relation, we make sure that we're keeping up with staff to make sure that they don't behind instruction. Any questions on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you explain how those two activities?
Yes, ma'am. As we see, is during the after school, like during the connections class, where we provide take support on whatever critical area that we identify, either by our scores or the varsity tutor, they'll about with math. So, they hire us to 210 needs.
Thank you.
That's the question. Go ahead.
I think that's great. I want to know exactly what else you do for the students. Like, the teachers have professional development. So there are expert teachers in the country who could come in and do lessons with them. It could be on the professional development or certain students depending on data. And your club, I'm just saying, Eric Clark, and he did right. What we did was focus on 7th grade Bible, the 7th grade Bible struggled at that time. And we brought him in, actually, they released the most purpose room. And what he did was some lessons, some basic lessons. And of course, I always try to teach them, but he made it fun for them. He explained it in ways that I could not explain. So it's not a professional development, because I don't know what's called.
Yes, we have the teachers, but on the student side, the high levels is not necessarily do a good or high levels tutoring. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're talking about, or you said someone that's not part of the community that's providing support.
Yes.
Okay, we can definitely do this. But on professional development, everybody that's part of the high levels tutoring have to be received. We provide professional development This is for the staff, but I want us to group by them every Monday for 2 hours. We would definitely look into the student market. Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll definitely look into that. And there's some others that you could also. Okay.
All right, good evening, board and Superintendent King. Thank you so much for student resources. So the first thing I want to say is that we are 99% covered in our mission. Well, that's maybe we have all go to the age of the earth to find those individuals, and we're only about 3 individual teachers who are virtual, and one of those is just for a couple of weeks until the person can come on site. And then we're down to just 2 virtual staff members, but outside of that, everyone is staffed with an in-person teacher. So when we look at hiring updates, we have a total of 11 new hires at the elementary school, 6 at the middle school, 8 at the high school, 1 at the Aspire Academy. And vacancies, remember last year we were at 9 and 10 and 11, and pretty much only at, and we're looking at this now, we kind of need some changes since then. But I want you to keep in mind that the virtual teachers, especially the online, is still technically considered vacancy. So that's why we see 4 FTEs, because they're including Spanish and the 639 classes that are virtual full-time. The other vacancies are there for the middle and high school, and then the skilled resource teacher for the 2.5 class, and we actually have an interview. All right, when we look at classified staff, there's only 2 positions that are available. That is considered the applicant term. We're looking at changing the title of that position and a job description to be posted, because there's certain positions that applicant term has to have, and right now from individuals that have some special skills that they still can be able to fill in that position, not necessarily titled as an applicant term. And we're looking at starting to this year next year that position. And then we have the network solution position that is found in HR. So just real brief, we have the implementation of the new district. We're having the first Friday of every month right now. Somewhere between 13 and 14 substitutes that we have hires, and we already have 8 typically that are waiting on students. We are developing general expanded expectations. We have released the best solution based module. They were released today, so teachers should have received those in their email, and they will have until October 24th to include that about 2 months for them to include those modules. The implementation of the master teacher paraeducator, one of the things that our paraprofessionals have been saying is that they have been getting the type of training and opportunities going to teachers, but we've done this master teacher paraprofessional training that they will be a part of. It has many modules that will be in the program. We will apply recruitment. It is a part of the fund that will be used of America, if you will, for our middle school and high school students. In conjunction with, we look at our program at middle school. The whole thing is to kind of bridge the partnership with the institutions of higher learning to be able to encourage the profession. And lastly, as you can see, or probably one other thing is that all over at 99%, I always start the process of recruiting.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you. Have any questions about the I'm still up here. school recognition first, and the school recognition start with our A. Where our schools have been named National Schools of Merit because let's give them a hand. School or school district where they have paid for all 3 levels. So we have elementary, middle, and high. We have active grade clubs for all 3 of our schools remain. Only 5,000 of some schools remain. A little over 5,500 schools remain in the nation. So we're happy to be a part of that. Thanks to our principals as well as the supervisors. Do I have any names on? I have a principal here. I'm Andy Hussein. I also have Ms. Paxson, please stand. I have a baby, all right. Employee recognition is Leslie. Would you come and do the employee recognition for food service, please? Thank you, Mary.
Dear Mario. Please join our live on Facebook. It gives you updates. It also gives you tips on food. So please join our school.
Thank you very good. So we're going to discuss our employee leave. We had it there. This is our second meeting. We did our first reading before, the state registration tax that every school district has to have an employee leave bank. So I want to take some time just to kind of go over the details of that policy with you. So the purpose is to establish, in the case of an accident, a catastrophic illness, said employees who are members of the bank may withdraw leave days from the bank under conditions spelled out. We had several different policies and decided that this one was good. So we're going to establish a voluntary leave bank for accidents and catastrophic illnesses. The leave bank will be established with voluntary deposits of 1 day. Each subsequent year after membership, the employer was doing 1 day of sick leave per year. So, in order to be a part of the leave, we have a leave bank where teacher per school and one district office, and then we make decisions and they'll make the person making the leave bank. We're going to open in October, and then new hires, and I mean, we'll take the sick leave bank, then I can just start a new period. All eligible employees who sign up the first time are eligible to receive benefits, and from then on, they will be automatically in the bank. So you sign up. Okay? So eligibility can be all permanent, full-time employees who have at least 12 sick days in their account will automatically be enrolled. Now, even if voluntary, you will be automatically enrolled because you have so many days. But if you don't have to be enrolled if you don't want to, you have to, you can opt out if you put it in writing. Okay? So you automatically enroll with so many days, but then you can opt out. So those are some of the things that I want to highlight for you. In order to withdraw, you have to be a part of the bank, and then you have to submit that documentation needed. In order to be a part of the bank. You can't get more than 90 days out of the bank, so those are just some of the highlights. And no days will be granted from the bank unless a person would be, unless a person has used all their available leave. And no more than 20 days can be requested at a time. So those are just some of the highlights. We will be putting it out for the board, for the staff to look at and provide some input for it. This is the second reading, so I will bring it back to you again for final approval. I want you ready for my place. Any questions? Any recommendations to put it in place? Our next item is policy, our facility naming committee, and I think that you have a letter there to you. Okay, so I'm going to read your name. This letter will go out as late today, it will go out tomorrow. I do have some persons that approached me about naming the baseball field of Fairfax and Fairfax Elementary. I will not leave the name because policy allows the superintendent to dictate the type of process. I won't be there. Because there might be other people who want to deal with other things. There might be fair to other people in the community of Fairfax. I won't be able to do at this time. Okay? So, We work together to establish the names of the committee. So this will go out tomorrow. As a board, if you give me additional names, you'd like to add to that committee. But I recommend to you that we members of the Fairfax community, since baseball team is in Fairfax, the elementary school. So LaShonda Jackson, Carl Love, Ryan Daniel, Bruce Small, Saul, Kobe Brandenburg, Robert Sullivan, and Estella Coleman on the names that have come to us to be a part of the naming committee. So whether it's the invitation to join the Fairfax Elementary Baseball Park naming committee, dear committee members, and Alabama County Schools, please invite you to serve as a member of the Fairfax Elementary Baseball Park committee. They can either participant in this important initiative to honor and preserve the legacy of this valuable space. As a committee member, you will help review and discuss potential names, ensuring the chosen name reflects the values and history of our school and community. Please, and we'll follow up with many details and next steps. We're working with you on some meetings. That's me at this time. If not, I'll ask a motion that we approve the letter and I can disseminate it again tomorrow. And that effect, Ms. Russell? I make a motion.
I know that we accept the letter for the naming of the baseball park.
It's a move of any questions, discussion, all of you let me know, say aye. And those, thank you so very much. So I'll be reaching out and deliver available for us tomorrow, and you may be called to all of them. Councilman Willis here, you already know, I mentioned it in the last word. So I'll move forward. Next on the agenda is our field trip request. For the first time since I've been here, we will have a group that try to. So this is the next year, the trip request. We're bringing to the board, I need to go to approval. And for us to move forward, taking this number of children to New York. So we talk a little bit about the trip.
And so the Bible trip to the river, because it's cheaper to do that way versus trying to get you relaxed because we're going to get 10 hours. We'll see, and then we're going to check into our hotel. We'll leave early at 2 in the morning. Try to 3.5 hours to the city, and our meeting will start. And we'll be in New York until that Friday. Sitting over the shoes. Yeah. Okay. So we do the 2-day AC at New York City Music. I met the director of that program. He was invited us to come to our students to go and do a 2-day AC there. We were all for the attractions in New York. So we were reference actors that we just showed that we see child costumes, video stage, all that we know so we have those actors and opportunity to see the world. I have people send us out we just check around see the world and everything that we see on we will stop paying these people rent and then we turn out and the Friday afternoon. That's the bar start fundraising, and then the laws up, we support us a whole lot. We do have 2 fundraisers for this fall. We have looking from October until the 1st of November, and that food also been out. I have some that's already seen as the church tax promotions. I also asked today, I started a letter that will have to see about business partners in the community, as well as support the other areas surrounding us. Of course, I have a small community doing business. We do have a lot of business in other areas in the campus that have city support. So we're still working on the piece of the pie that we distribute amongst all our students for the money that comes in the donations and still working about getting that piece. But we're trying to get it as less possible
So we want to try to fundraising and scholarships. We have 4 scholarships out of 30. I consider it I can't get out of the and they $11,000 and return maybe via the group. Breakfast, free breakfast at the hotel, lunch at home. We all our restaurants so they get $2. Any of your celebrating Broadway, all the attractions we see every person. This is I won't say performing, but we really do a small force for students at UL. And our students had an opportunity, students last year had an opportunity to meet so the students at UL because we met for a future in last year. And the students were able to hear great thoughts from the students from UL. And so a lot of excited to be able to see them again, those students to get out. So we won't be personally a public platform but folks to do really our students. And hopefully there'll be an opportunity for us to kind of get some real skills teaching those students. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
We're making these rights, and I already said that some of the total cost of per student is $1,100. How much is it?
Well, yeah, I don't know the number of students that it'll be about $75,000. But again, every student is not said, the parents are not said to the child. But yet, if you have a parent willing to act tonight, you have a parent interested in said for a couple weeks out, so we will allow parents to come and get their input and get all the information that they need to be considered, because we will be notified in September when they're allowed to child. But me personally, we'll give each child most of what we are really going to be learning from the mission. So, by any means necessary, we should. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Lord, I'd like to get your approval and blessing for us to continue to move forward. I shouldn't be able to go. I think that we're able to see the support our students in this great opportunity for young students. We're praying. Thank you, Mr. We have our monthly finance report. We have a monthly finance report, general obligation bond resolution, federal program update, on tax deposits. Okay, so this is our first CRO, Mr. Sean Jackson, you're here for her attorney. It was on. give us a moment to get sound back in. Good evening. We want to July 2025 statement. On June 30th, 2025, Valley County Board, the South Department of Education, approved $16,769,500 school revenue scheme. So this is $626,233. The 98 city alarm was increase. We have
I move that we accept the July 2025
Thank you. All right, next we have our general obligation. Is it federal programs or general obligation?
Good evening, I'm Jerry Rivers of the board. My name is Randy Hodgson. I'm with the law firm of Rivers Foreman. I'm with the law firm of Rivers Foreman. We used to be in the air law firm, so you did that for a while. I'm going to be here representing the air firm. And I'm here tonight to present to you for your consideration the resolution authorizing the general obligation bond in the amount of not to exceed $1 million. Y'all remember last year, y'all did two things. We approved entering into respectively a lease purchase or a strong purchase for the transaction. They were Giovanni resolution. And was just on to pay the last payment on all the lease purchase. So tonight I'm here with just one request, and this is our passing resolution authorizing the GA bond. Proceeds of the GA bond will be used for two purposes. First will be approximately $500,000, $535,000 will be used to make the payment on the acquisition agreement. So that's paying for equipment and things that you already have. And I think that payment will be around for maybe 3 or 4 years. So making payments on that end. And so that's number one. The second reason for the CFO proceeds will be used for what we call money. And that allows you the school district to pay for annual capital improvements, for purchase equipment, or for things that will be on the capital side of your business. Very important that everybody understand that these funds do not relate to operations. Cannot use this money for salaries or retirement or even for field trips. These purchases and this has to be on the capital side of your budget. And has only used capital purposes. For many years, the school district had a target demonstrating 32 bills. This debt will be issued and repaid under or at the $32 million series of tax increase. This is what we call business achievement. If you want to borrow approximately $7 next year, and you're going to pay it off in 10 or 32 months. You're going to participate in the resolution tonight. You'll participate in the program offered Scale. Scale is a nonprofit offering financial programs to school districts. What this means is that your bond of $1 million or $750,000
being offered. The advantage to y'all is if you really say interest rate, if it's county debt or Greenwood County with the city or Hoover County, these school districts participating in this program will see the same interest rate. You also receive a rate cost issue. So it's very financial advantageous to the school district to participate in this program. Actually, in another year or so, y'all will be able to participate in this game. I was chairman of another school district. As soon as y'all do this, we're going to offer out the opportunity. This year, one more time, we're going to have to offer this to a local bank. That's where you should the process of working through the relationship with the State Farm. State Farm is certified. They're very helpful. Just about this process, which is a little bit different than other school districts. We can't really offer standards to y'all. We want that out. It's something that will be available to y'all with very near future. And look forward to being able to go in for that. So, other than that, I don't want to say how to disclose this. This is how we sold on all around. We place with the local bank. We'll put out the process. It will come down to the local area, because it is school district best interest, and the debt will be issued in September. The debt will be repaid on March 1st. So this time next year, when you begin, March, you repay on March. That means somewhat the advantage of this debt is outstanding for only a very, very short period of time. So you're only paying interest for a very short period of time. And again, I apologize for come upstairs and I'm going to answer the questions on that.
So does anybody have any questions? I probably could tell you some of the things that probably could tell you some of the things we first started. We did a roof project, we bought vehicles, buses that we have, new buses that are to be here in Indiana. So those are some of them, they actually all housing projects. So that's what we made, we need to make renovations to our buildings as we continue to grow. We had some of it, but it wasn't enough. We're not on an issue. This is pay off debt.
In the for making money on the capital side, we'll either have annual budget, we will sign as the school year goes forward, very important projects that $200,000 we spend on. That can include a roof, it can include HVAC, windows, it can include this playground. So in operations this size, there are always capital needs, and this annual bond is really out of the school district to get this bond. Because on the operations side, the budget is so tight and so strained, there's too much pressure on operating budget. Anything that needs to move capital, school districts do that. So there will be a modest amount of new money available for your capital needs. It's kind of this year's budget is certainly most likely to be in next year's budget.
So we are able to tomorrow have our emergency management. We can enter into the group of schools in the state which have motivated the HVAC, all the partners complain about me, children complain about me. We're going to move for Fairfax. We bought trucks, we did playground, those types of things. Now we have a video for the elementary school. We have HVAC problems up there. So to continue to build to roll, I think all the people are graduating out of the school you're in. I graduated
from the school right here. This is where I went to school originally. So, we got to be able to teach about their importance. I'm glad you asked your other questions, and the relationship with the state Department of Education. The school did participate in the annual warrant, and so this is hopefully why all this decision. So we need a motion to be able to go ahead and activate the resolution for this law. So we're going to have a motion that is that an appropriate motion would be, I move that we adopt a resolution authorizing issuance of the United States $1 million obligation bond and present it to this meeting.
So we use our revenue.
Now, for a motion that we approve a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale not to exceed $1 million for general as the presented at this meeting. Thank you.
It's kind of difficult to give you because this is an open bond, so that I can use it for those projects that it's like
an old one for those projects that we identified all the projects we were going to do this money last year. So we're doing the HVAC, these are all the things that we're working on. So the HVAC system, the buses, trucks, renovation of Fairfax, there are lots of things that we're doing. And as we do those things, we continue to have other things to bring down. There's no way to pay them because that's the money is gone. And the only other money the board has is fund balance. It's not a good idea to go into fund balance to be able to do those things. It's much better to borrow money, use our revenue to get in to pay it back. Those are the projects we currently work on. Yes, ma'am. That's what we're going to use some of this money. You have to do the line in order to be able to pay. This is the pay debt we have.
When I purchased the vehicles, the intended and that transaction structured so that the payments on that lease purchase or installment purchase is intended to be paid for proceeds of general obligation bond. That school district has to pay $535,000 that needs to be made for the vehicles and the other things that we purchased. There's debt outstanding, and the majority of the bond you approved tonight will be to that payment of $500,000. This outstanding debt is, for this outstanding debt, is about, I think about $3 million. Almost there.
it's the entire.
She gave me the entire amount. so keep you abreast as to how it goes. It'll be fun. Thank you.
I'll be back next year, but if there's anything I can do, Dr. Kay has my cell phone numbers, you can ring me up.
We only do it once a year, so we can pay off of it.
Thank you very much.
We can borrow money to keep getting that way. Without coming to use my house. Okay, there are more programs. 24 title funds have to and as of right now, they're all accounted for. The things that they're all carry over, and we're working to make sure that this money is obligated to meet this requirement. You have to have, we're going to spend all this 50% of your 20 of your previous year's funds, or they will take them back. Our 26 Title I grant application has been submitted. We're just waiting for it to be approved at the state level. 2026 Title IV funds, the grant is due September the 1st. I want to have it ready by the 28th so that it can go through approval through our CFO as well as our team, and then we'll be at the state level. We do not have forward notifications for Title II or Title III as of right now. As you know, there was some holding of our funds, but we're hoping that we'll soon have those forward notifications. Our stop loss grant, we are in our final year of the grant. We're going to be meeting with RK and the other people that help write that grant to determine how we're going to proceed with reapply for this grant. Our Stronger Connections grant, the minute has been submitted, and that one is going to support the Bring It Back campaign. McKinney Mendoza grant, we're in year 2 of our McKinney Mendoza grant. This money funds for our homeless population. And right now they're working on replenishing our just case closet. And so that's whenever we have students that need right away and they qualify under the Community Act, then we have a closet to pull from. And then with our also legal workers, we have Ms. Hoffman back. She's contracted for another year. She's the teacher that we use to work with our mental population. And then we're going to continue to use Elevation, which is our platform to house our NLP as well as the and ILAPs are just like an IEP for our NL students. Parent and family engagement. The parent involvement policy has been updated and approved. The family rights to know, whenever I put together these slides, it was under review, but it has been approved by RK. Both documents are to be distributed at annual Title I meetings, and then I sent out an email to the principals for them to send in their parent contacts, and then they're being sort of Title I meetings. They're still working on getting their contacts out of all schools, Title I meetings scheduled. Any questions? Thank you so much. I have a lot of information tonight, but we will strictly secure, and thank you so very much. So I'll just take this opportunity just to tell you about our project. It's not everything, we'll tell you what's happening in the building. While we have it. So some of us already came and we received some money from SRS. So we are using that money for phase 1, phase 2 of the project. Phase 1 is done 2 hours, the flooring, the classrooms, and what's not. So phase 2 now has been phase 2 has been completed, and
in the cafeteria. There's new furniture was in there today. We have a new gym floor. We're gonna have new furniture out in the commons area, the office area renovations changed. There are new doors that are being put in all across the school that have door access. So all that is part of phase 2 of the project, even part of the HVAC on the roof in the gymnasium. Now we're going to move into phase 3. And phase 3 is the multi-purpose performing arts center. So that will begin. We've got always at the pool to get started. Soon you will see a fence come up around back. So I can change the bus pattern. Mr. Fields is aware. He's already working on that piece. Because no one will be able to go behind them because they will then begin to make multi-purpose performing arts center. Mr. Davis had to go to the space and move into a smaller space. The band room is totally off limits now as we begin to move into that phase 3. And phase 3 will also have some additional things happening in phase 4 of the project. Moving competitive developments. So that's kind of where we are now with our projects. We had a tea booth, breakfast, concession stand, and now breakfast. Those are the things that are going on at the time. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. That's it for me. It's time for executive session. I have that person. Thank you for all of your courses. At this time, we will go to executive session for personnel and resignation. Hiring transfer. We still want to